All right, so the next cheese are two of my favorite parts, and I just have, the thought of that. How could you put these two together in a cheese?
Oh, you think you could? I wasn't. I'm not necessarily crazy about either one. I love them in the cheese. So they
Well,
they've made a this one here in particular because of the condiment size and the volume of condiment we put into the cheese. It would be best if that cheese was warmer before it was cut. You know, to take it right out of the refrigerator, it's going to taste, but you can't get the true, you know, the appeal of the look. And we want with this one, you'd like to be able to see all the condiment in it. We do, I guess what we do is we sell condiment and then we try to use cheese to spread it out. So kind of go from there. But the flavor, the flavor of the two put together in this cheese is really, really quite good.
and this is obviously driven by the popularity of spinach artichoke dip is what was one of our driving forces behind this item. It was developed prior to me coming onto the company, but I was, doing work with the milk board within the state of Wisconsin, and I just love the cheese. It was frustrating, as Ken was saying, when you try to cut this and it's cold, it really fractures pretty easily. But it is a cheese that you can kind of chunk up randomly, or let it warm up and slice it, and it's a nice good thing. Or at the very least, just have at it with a shredding board and put it on top of some breads, some crackers, put a light melt to it, and it really is outstanding in that regard. We'll go with a lot of cured meats. We'll go with some things like dried apricot that I particularly like to use with cheeses. So,
And your take, Michael?
This is fantastic. It really is. When I was talking about cutting it, as it was cool, it gave me a really nice cut. And then as it started to warm up, I got some crumbles out of it. So I was able to kind of get a little bit of a, kind of like little snacking pieces. And so I took the snacking piece and I was just, when you have all this flavor, you don't really have to add anything to it. This is already everything there. But I tried one of the fire hooks, the rosemary, and that just it works so well. And then of course having the Greek olives there. So Greek olives and this is just fabulous. Add a little bit of a charcuterie on this, and you have a fabulous meal. I'm not quite sure if this qualifies for my wife's requirement on me for the amount of green that I need in my menu, my diet.
It qualifies someplace. It'll be okay.
it would be a start at least.
There is green here, and it is fantastic. It's so nice. When you talk about spinach, spinach can have a little bit of bitterness to it. This doesn't. It has a nice flavor to it. The artichoke on here just really comes up. There's a nice saltiness in here, and but bottom line, again, you bring out that little bit of butter that's in the background that gives it a nice balance. Really interesting. I could just see this, at every holiday, just replacing that spin dip with this, because this is just so nice and flavorful and more healthier, I'd like to believe.
Delivers the goodness of cheese.
Exactly. Oh, I kept the same beer. I decided that it can really stand up to a little bit of hoppiness and a little bit of maltiness. So I stayed with the Highland Brewery, their Gaelic Ale, and it works really well as well. But this actually, you probably could go a little bit hoppier. You could probably step up to a pale ale or go up to an IPA. Because there's just so much of that flavor. And as you start getting the herbs and the vegetables in there, the hops really bring stuff out. They really help bring out a little bit more of the flavors. They accent them, clean them up a little bit. So I wouldn't be opposed to something a little stronger that way.